Hi there, folks. Welcome back to the Short and Stout headquarters. We are the Short and Stout guys. I'm Terry.
And I'm Daniel. And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're not going to the theme parks or a thrift store.
What?
Where are we going?
You know where we're going to go today is we're going to go to one of the larger open-air flea markets in Central Florida. We're heading to Renninger's Flea Market. Now, if you're not familiar with Renninger's Flea Market, it's just off Highway 441 down by Mount Dora. It is somewhere between 117 to 140 acres of flea marketing paradise there. You've got a couple larger antique areas that are air conditioned and real easy to get around in. And then you've also got a lot of outdoor areas, buildings and such, where today they're calling it a spring yard sale. And so there's going to be a lot of kind of odds and ends vendors selling a lot of things you might find at garage sales, but there'll also be a lot of unique things and collectibles and antiques. Lots and lots of things to see. I noticed you got a Coca-Cola Freestyle cup right here prominent in the middle of the table. What's going on with that?
Well, as we've said, you could get one of these at the theme park or at a thrift store. Another place you could find them is at Renninger's.
You know, and that's kind of interesting because one of the times when we were at Renninger's, we actually found a guy who had a whole case of these. And he was selling Coca-Cola Freestyle cups for $1. Now, these were used Freestyle cups, and this may even be one of them. And we did get a couple of them. It was such an incredible deal. Took them home, cleaned them all up, and they worked just great. But so you never really know what you're going to find when you get to Mount Dora and go to the flea market there. But we'll take you along for the journey. We'll kind of show you some of the different areas of the flea market. And then toward the end, we'll show you kind of what we brought home as our treasures of our finds for the day. And then we'll talk about it a little bit, all right? I know one thing, though. I'm going to need to get rid of this T-shirt before we go because it's supposed to be 100 degrees at the flea market today. So see if I can stay a little bit cooler. But anyway, we'll see you out there at Mount Dora here in just a minute. Well, welcome back. That was sure an interesting montage of odds and ends and unique things that we saw when we were there at Mount Dora at the Renninger's Flea Market. I know you saw some kind of cool stuff, right?
Oh yeah, I saw an antique wheelchair, and I
An
saw
all wooden one,
an
right?
old wooden
Yeah.
one. I also saw some glass photos from one of the old Universal Monster movies, and some other pictures of Universal Monsters.
Just
But
a,
just a lot of cool stuff there.
just a lot of endless stuff. If you're a collector of just about anything, you're going to find something that you want to bring home with you at Renninger's. My favorite find of the day, we got quite a bit of stuff that maybe you saw at the end of the montage there. But my little favorite thing was this little Coca-Cola bear with his little Coca-Cola scarf on. But there was a lot of different vendors selling Coca-Cola memorabilia and things at Renninger's for whatever reason. That just sort of at the outdoor sales, and so we got some kind of cool stuff. Always do whenever we go to Renninger's. There's always you're gonna come home with something because there's just so much variety. There's always something that's gonna fit right into what you're looking for. We hope you enjoyed making that journey with us. Next time maybe we'll be in a theme park, maybe we'll be in a thrift store, maybe we'll be at another flea market. You just never know. But either way, we hope to see you out there. And until next time, take care.